Love Written in Red, Part 4. Basic overview of the Roman crucifixion. The crucifixion is argued as the most painful execution in human history. The torture, as we talked about earlier, started before the cross itself. A person would be mercilessly beaten, often with a whip known as the cat of nine tails. After that, they would carry the cross on which they would be crucified to the place their execution would take place. Their hands and feet would be then nailed to this cross. Due to the position of their outstretched arms, the person would have great difficulty breathing. They would have to raise themselves up, tearing the flesh and tissue on their hands and feet in order to take a breath. Over time, they would eventually be so tired and fatigued that they would be unable to lift themselves and would die of asphyxiation. Crucifixion was a long and excruciating death. The nails. So when we hear about the cross, we often hear that there were nails placed through Jesus' hands and feet. Well, spikes would be the more accurate word to describe what was driven through his hands. I will explain this more in the next slide. However, each strike of the hammer that sent the nails deeper through his hands was a sin that we had committed. As I stated before, there weren't nails as we consider them to be today driven through his hands. These were 5 to 7 inch spikes that were sent through his hands and wrists. I don't quite understand the anatomy terms on this image, but I believe these images give us a bit of a clearer picture and understanding of the size of these spikes and the damage they caused. 2 criminals. Luke 23:32 through 43 says, "There were also 2 others, criminals, led with him to be put to death. And when they had come to the place called Calvary, there they crucified him and the criminals, one on the right hand and the other on the left. Then Jesus said, 'Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do.' And they divided his garments and cast lots. And the people stood looking on, but even the rulers with them sneered, saying, 'He saved others, let him save himself if he is the Christ, the chosen one of God.' The soldiers also mocked him, coming and offering him sour wine, saying, 'If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself.' And an inscription also was written over him in letters of Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, 'This is the King of the Jews.' Then one of the criminals who were hanged blasphemed him, saying, 'If you are the Christ, save yourself and us.' But the other answering rebuked him, saying, 'Do you not even fear God, seeing you are under the same condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward of our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong.' Then he said to Jesus, 'Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom.' And Jesus said to him, 'Assuredly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise.'" This is a beautiful picture of Christ's love and forgiveness unfolding. These criminals are both being crucified for their crimes. The Bible never states what their crimes were, but we can assume by their punishment that it was something fairly bad. However, even after they mocked and insulted him, Christ is still willing to forgive this criminal that has repented and take him to paradise. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." These words, I believe, are a second beautiful illustration of Christ's love and forgiveness. Christ went to the cross for all of us, even those who crucified him. While being beaten, tortured, mocked, and crucified, Christ asked for his executioner's forgiveness. No, he does not ask for them to be punished or for revenge. He instead says, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do."